Hello, everyone. This is Florian Iron speaking. I've wanted to take some time to share with you this presentation I put together with the help from Father Christos, with the intention of increasing our knowledge around our role in this effort, as well as proposing some directions to move forward. I hope everybody is doing well in this period of Lent. And, it's going to go through a number of topics, revisiting a bit of the history, starting with what happened at Chambézy, Genève, a number of years ago. And then from that starting point, we're going to evolve through a number of initiatives and milestones, and we will arrive at our effort today. And then from here, we're going to go through the future proposed path. At the top, you see kind of the chronological movement we're going to follow through this presentation. And so that map is going to help us understand where we are at different points in the presentation. As I said, I want to revisit what happened at Chambézy in Geneva in Switzerland. There were efforts prior to that moment, but just to start, I wanted to start here. So what you see here on the slide are excerpts from the official documents. You have received those in an email from Father Christos about a week or so ago. And I hope by taking them out of the official document, I didn't lose anything from the contextual understanding, and they still stand as I put them together to reflect the message that I want all of us to understand. So what happened in Geneva in June 2009, there was so-called the fourth Preconciliar Pan-Orthodox Conference. And this one gathered in Switzerland. And the intent of this conference was the discussion of the canonical organization of the Orthodox diaspora. So there are two terms that come at play here that I think are important for us to understand. The first one is the definition in this context of the Orthodox diaspora. The term includes the Orthodox faithful that have settled outside the traditional boundaries of the local Orthodox churches. So situation in United States of America, the Orthodox faithful in United States of America are part of the Orthodox diaspora. There are other diasporas out in the world in various continents, but the one we will be focusing on is the one we experience here in United States of America. So that's the first topic. And then the second topic of interest here is the canonical organization. The canonical order of the church establishes that there is only one bishop in the same geographical place. As you probably know, and we are here together coming from a number of jurisdictions, a number of parishes, we do not have currently this situation in United States. We have in certain cases, multiple bishops overlapping the same geographical area. So the conference at Chambézy was intended to discuss this particular situation worldwide, but there was absolutely an interest for the situation in United States of. What happened during and at the end of the conference, there was a common desire expressed by all Orthodox churches towards a solution to this particular problem of the canonical organization. So everybody there agreed that, yes, we will have to look into this particular problem and come up with a solution. The next step after this decision was to establish bishop assemblies. Those were established in different parts of the world to address this problem of the diaspora. You see here the members of the assemblies. They include all those recognized by all Orthodox churches as canonical bishops who shepherd the existing communities in each region. And then the mission of the bishop assemblies is, as it says, the proclamation and promotion of the unity of the Orthodox Church, the common pastoral ministry to the Orthodox faithful of the region, as well as their common witness to the world. So we're moving now from Chambézy, Genève to the Assembly of Bishops. The full name of the organization is Assembly of Canonical Orthodox Bishops of the United States of America. We might see in various documents the abbreviation Assembly of Bishops, and even the further abbreviation, the AoB. Mission of the organization, as you see it here, is to preserve and contribute to the unity of the Orthodox Church in the United States of America by furthering her spiritual, theological, ecclesiological, canonical, educational, missionary, and philanthropic aims. This is the mission statement as captured in the document Assembly of Bishops Vision 2020. Back then, the Assembly decided that the work of the organization will measurably enhance four dimensions: Orthodox Christian unity and outreach, common Orthodox witness, ministries and initiatives, and the organizational excellence. Moving further within the Assembly of Bishops, we are seeing on this page the creation of the four strategic areas of focus: Orthodox Christian unity and outreach, common Orthodox witness, ministries and initiatives, organizational excellence. And underneath, we see the committees. All of these are committees. So there is a committee for clergy matters, a committee for canonical regional planning, and so on and so forth. And there are 16 of them. And each one of these committees has specific goals that are part of this larger effort. The one that will be of particular interest to us, it's the Committee for Canonical Regional Planning, and we will explore this particular one in the upcoming slides. Following through the map, we arrived at the Committee for Canonical Regional Planning. As the description says here, the scope of work for this committee is to work with pan-Orthodox clergy brotherhoods and inter-Orthodox parish associations consisting of clergy and lay representatives from all Orthodox parishes to efficiently facilitate and maintain pan-Orthodox parish-to-parish communications, activities, and cooperation, the One Church initiative, in the pilot metro areas. The pilot metro areas are two. They are Atlanta and Akron. So in here we recognize the Orthodox Clergy Brotherhood, and we're going to talk about our own Atlanta Clergy Brotherhood in the upcoming slides. And then you see the other two elements of work for the canonical regional planning: work with Committee for Clergy Matters to identify entry points for studying and strengthening clergy brotherhoods, as well as the expansion of the One Church initiative to help establish effective clergy and brotherhoods and associations in several other metro areas to be determined. So as we talked about it in the past, the intent here is to establish a model that can be replicated in other areas, geographical areas in the United States where a similar opportunity exists. So our effort, again, it's not only for ourselves, but it's also to create that model for others as well. From there, it's important that one of the pieces of work that this committee created was a proposed model. And this is, again, it's a proposed model, is not yet approved. But the intent here is to align the country into one administrative structure of ecclesiastical provinces. So basically addressing a major component of the diaspora problem. And so the solution here is that these ecclesiastical provinces each will consist of one archdiocesan or metropolitan see and several dioceses of parishes of all ethnic backgrounds formed on the principle of locality, with a national synod chaired by a national primate, and provincial synods chaired by the head of each of the ecclesiastical provinces. Important as a bullet point here for some of us who come from ethnic parishes is that in each province there would be ethnic vicariates, informal associations of parishes of the same heritage to maintain ethnic identity and culture. So again, this proposed model is important because it addresses a proposed solution to part of the diaspora challenge, and also it's important to note the ethnic dimension here that in this model is to be organically kept. Moving into the Atlanta Orthodox Clergy Brotherhood, as we remember, the Canonical Regional Planning Committee included the Orthodox Clergy Brotherhood. So the Atlanta Orthodox Clergy Brotherhood, as stated on the website, is under the care of the Assembly of Canonical Orthodox Bishops of the United States of America. So we see kind of the link between the two. And the mission of this brotherhood, as described on the website, is to bring people the knowledge of the Orthodox Church and to assist those throughout the city of Atlanta who are in need. In the list below, you will see the 18 parishes that are part of the Orthodox Clergy Brotherhood in Atlanta, and they are coming from 6 major jurisdictions. You see them in the brackets for each one of the parishes. Moving further from the deeper from the Orthodox Clergy Brotherhood in Atlanta, we arrive at us. So we don't have yet a name for our team, but at this point is made of 15 clergy, 21 laity. Like I said, there are 18 parishes part of our team, and then they are coming from 6 jurisdictions. From the first meeting we had a couple of weeks ago, where our team came up with ideas, we have grouped these ideas into 3 major categories: doing, developing, and communicating. And under these categories, we have 5 main domains: religious, social, charity, development, and communication. So let's explore the categories in a bit more detail. Doing, these are the activities that have a direct impact in the life of our Orthodox parishioners in the Atlanta area. So the intent here is to have a large geographical impact and also to create something that's greater than the sum of what each one of our own parishes can individually achieve. Under the developing is a set of activities that are intended to allow us to learn and grow together as a team. There is a lot of value of putting 18 parishes together, establishing forums for best practices to understand the problems certain parishes are being confronted with, their proposed solutions, maybe be inspired by these solutions in other parishes. And so the intent here is to, via these exchanges, to be able to, for us, members of this team, as well as the parish councils, to grow deeper and faster than each one of us can do in our own parish individually. And the third category is the communicating. As we are making progress in this effort, we will be doing things, and we also have to talk about the things we are doing and the results that we have. And so it is important to make sure that we have communication mechanisms to reach out to our parish councils, to clergy, to the parishioners, and let them know about what's going on in this particular team, as well as keeping in touch with our hierarchs. These conversations, at least in our parish, proved useful in the past for encouragement, for guidance, for support, for direction. So it's definitely recommended to make sure that we have these lines of communication open and we keep them open as we progress through this effort. Last week, we have initiated a survey asking each one of us to share how many of these work groups would like to attend, as well as what is our order of preference for the 5 domains. We have received 28 answers. Some people wanted to be part just of one work group, others wanted to be part of 2 work groups. And with these answers, we were able to assign people to various work groups. For the vast majority of people, 20 or so, we were able to assign exactly the number of work groups people wanted and exactly their first preference. In some limited cases, we were not able to do that because, for example, the religious and the social were very popular. A lot of people wanted to be there. But like I said, for a number of people, we had to go for the next preference in line, and that's as far as we went, just the next preference in line. So we're able to very nicely dimension the religious, social, charity development, and communication. We were also looking as going through this effort, looking into the diversity to make sure that we don't have, for example, a domain just with 3 parishes from the same jurisdiction. So we have a very nice diversity here between people coming from various parishes, various jurisdictions, as well as a good mix between clergy and laity. Of course, in the religion, we would expect clergy to be more present or in the social, to have laity being more active. And then on the other ones, just want to make sure that there is at least one laity and one clergy representative in each one of these groups. So hopefully this one is to everyone's satisfaction at this point. We would expect people in the future maybe joining our effort here. Because we don't have yet represented all the 18 parishes. So we should be able to accommodate those in the future while keeping the work groups nimble. The initial target was between 3 to 7 members. We extended that to 8 based on your preference. In group dynamics, they say the optimum number of people in a committee should be 5, because 5 is enough to ensure diversity of opinions, but not big enough to prevent progress being made. So again, we've came here with anywhere between 6 and 8 people, which is, I think it's a nice dimension for our work. Relative to our engagement in these work groups, we would like to count on everyone's commitment and participation, because only in such a group effort we can make good progress. For to make sure that the activities are happening, to make sure that the work group is still making progress, we'd like to designate one person to be the engine of that group, to set up the meetings, to make sure conversations are happening, activities are developed. We wouldn't want to call this person the leader of the group. The leader in a church context might have different meanings to different people. So, but the intent here is to just have that person we all can count on to make sure that there is continuous progress in the work group. Relative to voting, even though we have a good number of people here, 6, 7, 8, still consensus voting is preferred to other types of voting like majority. Important to get everyone's opinion, to hear different perspectives, and then hopefully as a group, the group can come up with good decisions. In case there is a need, recommended to reach out to people outside the work group for their feedback. However, the group will make the decisions. Everyone can offer feedback, offer input, but the group is responsible to make the decisions. Relative to the connections aspect of our effort, we do hope that with God's help, what we'll put here in place will be aligned to Assemblies of Bishops' mission, but also it will stay beyond the timing of this team. In nature, this team is temporary, but there is this intent that the activities that we have will become organically embedded in the Orthodox life in the Atlanta area, same way as the Sunday of Orthodoxy is now happening every year. Also, there is the intent here for the activities that we will create and implement, that those ones, as well as the entire process of coming up with these activities, process of forming the teams, those can become a model for other geographical areas in United States, because the entire, coming back to the entire diaspora situation here in US, it's not only an Atlanta problem or an Atlanta solution. Uh, it has to expand. It has to unity has to be present in more and more and more cities, such a way that we reach it really at that parish level. We need to spend time to get to know each other. The teams are new. We have, as I've shared in the previous slides, we have a mixture from people from various parishes and jurisdictions, and most probably not everybody knows everybody else. So it would be good to form these relationships, to spend time in the meetings, to get to know each other. Communication recommended to be done by all means, face to face as much as possible, online, Zoom or other platforms, email, phone, any type of communication is useful, and there will be a lot of communication required. As in any type of group dynamics, as we go through the life of our groups, we will have to go through the forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning phases. Important piece here is to go through them. Every healthy work group goes through them, and not to be stuck in any one of these phases, and hopefully spend most of our time in the performing stage. For this effort, as it was also presented in the letter to Metropolitan Alexios, was distributed by Father Christos back in December, need to keep a close contact with our hierarchs to make sure they are informed about what's happening in your parish, and also to ask for guidance and for support as we go through this journey. That relationship is important, remains important. So we'll just have to make sure that we keep that relation as strong as possible through the life of this team. As the work groups will start the work towards creating a list of proposed activities, we'd like to document the dimensions of these activities. So first we would need a name of the activity, a brief description of what the activity is about, and then some proposed dates. Some of these can be with fixed date, for example, around a religious holiday. Other can be TBD, to be determined. For example, it can be a charity event and we don't know exactly the date. Other activities can be on a continuum basis. For example, the communications group would have activities on a continuum basis, and others can be as needed. The next dimension that's important here is the impact. Who will benefit from this activity? In some cases, there will be a specific parish or a group of parishes that will benefit. In other cases, there can be the parish councils who will benefit, the clergy. Of course, we'd like, as we said earlier, to impact the entire Orthodoxy in the United States of America, but we have to start small and then expand as much as possible. Equally important here is the qualification of resources. It's recognized that there will be activities that will require resources beyond the components of the work group itself. In some cases, we have to reach to a large number of volunteers. In other cases, we have to make sure the entire clergy is engaged in a specific activity. So documenting resources is important. The initial recommendation is to have a minimum of 3 activities and a maximum of 5 per work group. We realize that as we put all of these together, we will have plenty of activities, and we'll have then to meet sometime after Easter and look at all these activities and make sure we have a synchronized plan, such a way that we don't have an extremely busy period with multiple overlapping activities over a week that will require the same resources, and it's very difficult to coordinate. And also have to make sure that we don't have long periods of time in which nothing happens. So we'll just have to do that level of synchronization, and that we can only do after we get the proposed activities from each work group. And then, like I said, we'll look at all of them together as a group and then as a team, and then synchronize them. The initial suggestions for the activities in each work group are captured from your direct feedback in the meeting we had about a couple of weeks ago, and other email exchanges, and you can browse them over the next 5 pages. Here you see the examples of the religious activities. Here we have the example for social activities. This page captures charity. This one, development. And this one, the communication. So where do we go from here? So the actions we need to take for each work group are to start the internal communication. In one of the previous pages, you've seen the current structure of the work groups, who is in each one of these work groups. So the idea would be to start, we all have the emails, to start the initial communication to make sure that people introduce each other. Then we would need to designate the person who will be the engine of the work group. Again, as a reminder, this one is explained on page 13. The role of this person would be to make sure that the work group keeps making progress. Then, based on the suggestions that we just went through and other conversations, the intent for each work group would be to come up with a list of activities and their dimensions as described on page 15, and capture and document those, and absolutely share the list, the proposed list, with Father Christos. Also, relative to these work groups, if you see someone from your parish or a neighboring parish who you believe should be in these work groups and didn't have the chance yet to respond to the survey, please reach out to them and encourage them to respond to the survey. We will have additions to these work groups such a way that we can give each one an opportunity to contribute. We don't want to have anyone being left out. Then sometime after Easter, date to be decided, we will reconvene as a team, as the entire team, and then we will make a decision then which activities we keep, maybe work a little bit on the schedule to make sure that we don't have overlap or very busy periods. And the intent of the outcome there is to have an overall plan with all of these activities that our team will commit to over the next 12 months or so. We don't have yet a name for our team, so please share any ideas you have with Father Christos, and we will need a name for our team. And then any questions you have about this entire material, absolutely feel free to reach out to Father Christos. And as we've done in the past, we want to consolidate all these questions and then come back most probably via email with answers. So this was the material put together here with the help from Father Christos. Thank you for being patient and going through it. And I wish you a very fruitful Lent going forward. God bless. Bye.